All right, welcome back to Deep Within the Man Cave. Once again, my name is Jeremy, and today we are going to talk about context. Why is it important to have the right context for the right situation? How having the same conversation with two different contexts can vary the outcome, and how to come up with a context. So, first of all, context is the way you look at something in its situation. So, there's negative, there's positive, of course, and depending on how you were brought up and stuff like that, you might have a context that is ingrained in you from everything that's happened to you, and you don't even realize that you have one. And this is just the way you look at situations. So sometimes you have a positive context, sometimes you have a negative context. So I grew up in a fairly negative context household, with my mom suffering massive depression when I was young and my parents splitting up. So I tend to look at everything sort of in a negative way, and I felt like I was being judged and felt like I had to defend myself, my mom, my sister, to friends, teachers, other family members when they would ask how things were going, and even to my father when he would ask how things are going, stuff like that. So I felt like I was being judged. So the context that I have ingrained in me was a negative one, and I didn't realize exactly what it was until a few months ago when I got in my modules and started studying this stuff and how it affects you. So, for example, my wife would always say to me that I would get defensive in a conversation or anything like that, to the point where she didn't want to talk to me anymore. She wouldn't bring certain things up because she just couldn't be bothered to listen to the negativity and feel like I was defending myself. Now, why the hell would I have to defend myself against the person that loves me the most? Right? She married me. She only wants the best for me. So why would I have to defend myself against something like that? Well, the answer is you don't. I felt like I was being attacked, but that was my context. So I've learned now to have a few different contexts for different situations. So now when I am in heavy conversation with my wife or something like that, I use the context that she is the one. Because for me, she is the one. She's the one I love. No matter what's going on in our relationship right at this moment, she's the one I love with all my heart, and I know that she isn't attacking me, saying negative things to me just to hurt me or anything like that. She's bringing up points and feelings of hers that matter to her, and I was sort of blowing them off. So now the same context can be, here's a quick example. One that I learned, I was taught right away, is you tell somebody you're going to wash their car. Say your wife asks you to put gas and wash her car, and you're like, for sure. But things happen, you get busy. And it didn't happen. And she gets home from a long day of work, she's tired, she's angry, she's stressed out. She goes to get in her car, it's dirty, and there's no gas in it. So she's mad because you said you were going to do it. Now, she comes in and she says, how come you didn't do that? You could be like, whoa, calm down. Like, sorry, stuff happened. But, and that would be like whoa, why is she so angry? Is she a bitch? No, your wife is not a bitch. Your girlfriend is not a bitch. They care about you. They want her to know. Maybe she was coming from a place of frustration, but really she wanted to know that, hey, how come this didn't get done? Is everything okay? I'm concerned. Not the way you took it as, well, doesn't she see everything else I do around here? So I didn't get her car washed and filled up with gas. Like, no, that's not what she means. So the same situation can have two different outcomes depending on the context that you choose to have. And it's very hard to break yourself of an older habit, an older context. So what I like to do is I have sort of three contexts that I use, on the regular, different situations. Mostly these ones are for my in my relationship in its current status. I do have other ones, but the three that I use is when we're in heavy discussions, I use she's the one. So of course she wants what's best for me. Of course she wants what's best for the family. She's only showing concern. Now the way I take that, that's up to me. That's the mindset thing. But another one I have is she testing me? Did I say was going to do something and I haven't done it, and now she's throwing it out there to see if she's testing me or if I actually follow through with what I say? And then another one that I use often is I am worthy. I am worthy of love and I am worthy of commitment. Now, this one is hard because a lot of people have insecurities around this. This is important. You just apply it to things in this subject, right? So if you're dating and it's not going well, or you can't find somebody, you are worthy. You are worthy. You just haven't found the right one yet. So if you keep the positive thing that you are worthy of love, you are worthy of a commitment and a relationship, if you keep that positive context and positive mindset about it, it will happen. It just hasn't happened yet. So another one to do it is, if you're looking for ideas to get a context, is somebody you look up to, somebody that you think has it all, somebody that you wish you could be like sometimes. And it's different situations, right? It's not going to be the same person every time or whatever, but like, say you're having a hard day, whatever, or your wife says she's not a good mother or something like that. You can have you can help her have a context of, well, who is a good mother? Who does she look up to? Could be a person from a TV show. And then you think when something comes up, what would they do? And you roll with it. So right now, with my mental health state is getting better, my confidence is getting better, I'm doing things on my own and stuff like that I normally wouldn't have done because of my anxiety and my low self-esteem and stuff like that. I've chosen somebody that resonates with me, is Joe Rogan. I listen to his podcasts. I sort of get his vibe on stuff, where you just gotta try. You gotta start, and that's the hardest thing, is you gotta start. And you listen to some of his motivational speeches on YouTube and stuff like that. That's who, I aspire to be. I've never met the guy. I'd like to. He seems to be a super down to earth person. He loves cars. I have the same car disease. He likes nature, likes to get out, loves his dog, loves his family, likes to do cool and fun shit, try stuff. So that's who I aspire to be like. That's who I've recognized myself with. So that's who I chose. So if I'm in a tough situation, I think, well, what would Joe do? Right? It can be anybody. It can be a character from a movie. It could be a TV show. It could be your father. It could be your mother. It could be an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, a brother or sister. Like, it doesn't matter who. It's somebody you look up to, or something you look up to. You try to emulate that in your own way. Now, that is the best way. So context it's affected me big time. So like I said earlier, I felt like I was being attacked when I had no reason to feel like being attacked. Like, I understand now that my wife was only doing and saying these things because she was concerned about our family and about me and about us. It wasn't a jab at me. It wasn't putting me down, but that's how I took it. This morning we had a conversation where we both failed at this. Now, not with getting into personal stuff. She had a rough night with her children last night. Not a lot of sleep was had. And she's also feeling down about the situation that we are in. I know that. So all this stuff, plus pure exhaustion. When we had a talk this morning, I don't know, she never told me this, but the things that she was saying and stuff were as if she felt like she was being attacked. Her person was being attacked as a mother, as a woman, as a person, somebody that is capable of much, much more than I'm ever capable of. And hands down, I'd never attack her, never judge her character or anything like that. Things happen for a reason. Things have happened between me and her, but she is a wonderful person. She is a strong person. She is stubborn. She is an excellent mother, and our kids are so lucky to have a mother. She's definitely stronger parent-wise, knowing when to ease off and stuff like that with our kids. She understands that stuff better than I do. I think women are born with that instinct more than men, of course, because they're mothers. So like, for sure, I'd never tell her anything otherwise. I know for a fact that my kids are perfectly safe no matter where they are, as long as they're with her, right? With me or with her. I trust her 1,000,000% that, because I know the kids come first. So yeah, she's a wonderful mother. I'm lucky to have her in my life, and they are very lucky to have her in her life. So this morning, with all the exhaustion and stuff like that, she felt like she was being attacked, and I did at the same time too. I felt like I couldn't get anything right, and I was being attacked. Totally wrong context and all that stuff. If the situation was changed and everyone was frustrated, we would have had a normal conversation, and we could have, we didn't have an argument, but we could have, it was unpleasant. We could have solved it way faster. We did solve it. We worked good as a team. But these are the kind of circumstances. So you also don't know what the other person is dealing with. So if you come in as they're attacking you and negative, like a negative context, they're like, oh, they're just attacking me, they think I'm an idiot or something like that. Well, unless you don't know what they're thinking, what they're feeling, how much sleep they've got, something happened to them at work or something like that. So that is why the context is so important. It's very, very, very hard to switch gears with that, but you have to keep trying. And once you learn to have a good context with things, then it's actually quite simple. Life, rotates in ways that it's supposed to, and things fall into place much easier. There's less arguing, there's less frustration on your part there, and all this stuff. So another context that I struggled with for years was when the dogs would bark at the window. Now, they go ape, like most dogs do, when they see another dog outside their window or people walking past the house, especially late at night and it's more shadows and stuff like that. We have 2 big dogs, so it gets pretty loud. We had 3, a small one, a little yappy one. So yeah, like it gets quite loud and it usually startles me. I could be sitting on the couch right next to the dogs and not notice somebody walk past or a dog walk across the street, and all of a sudden, rah, they're jumping at the window and all that stuff, and it would scare the crap out of me. And I would yell and call them names and pull them away from the window and tell them to stop, and I'd get angry. And of course that scared people. Scared my wife, scared my kids, even scared myself. And so the context I look at it now, and as soon as I learned how to do this, them barking at the window doesn't bother me at all. So the context I use is, we are their family. They are going to protect their family. They take it on as their job as the protector of the household. So they see people walking across the street or other dogs as potential threats. So they're just talking in dog, hey, back off, I got this. You want any trouble, come in. They're protecting their family. Our family lives here. If you try to harm them or anything like that, watch out. That is what they're doing. I mean, that's it. And once I use that context, it's just like, yeah, it still startles me every once in a while when they bark at the windows and stuff like that. But I thank them. I go up to them instead of yelling and screaming. I'm like, thank you for saving us from that plastic bag floating across the road in the wind. Or that cat. That cat looked scary. Thanks for saving us. And it calms it down. If you act calm, the animals act calm, and all that stuff. So context, context, context. Because I guarantee you that the people you think are, especially your loved ones, they're not there to attack you and rip you apart and all that stuff. That's not what loved ones do to each other. That's not what most people do to other people. Yes, there are some dicks in the world, and that's what they live on. But people that do that are usually hurt. They're hurt inside, and they feel that they need to hurt somebody to make themselves feel better. And that'll be a different discussion on a different day. But I want to keep this one close to 20 minutes or so. So remember, context, come up with a few, try them out, come up with more, write them down, take a deep breath and use a context. Find a hero, find somebody that you like, somebody you admire, and what would they do in this situation? So, excuse me. So yeah, that is my thing on context. It's very important in ways to look at things, because people aren't just out to get you. And sometimes when you have a negative upbringing and stuff, that can make you feel like that. So it's a hard one, it's an important one. You got to work on it all the time, and you're worth it. So I'm hoping these videos are helping. I know they're helping me by making them. It gives me a purpose. I know a few people have reached out to me to thank me and say that some of these things have helped them. So that's what's keeping me doing it. I want to do it. Men's mental health is so very important. All this stuff can be used in anybody's mental health. Not like you can adapt it to your kids if they're suffering or whatever like that. But I'm sort of gearing this to men because men's mental health doesn't really get talked about. So hope you enjoy it. Please give a like, subscribe to the channel Deep Within the Man Cave, and write a comment. Please, I'd like to know who is subscribed and all this stuff, and let's keep this going. Let's keep this men's mental health stuff going, and until next time, have a good one. Be kind to everyone.